I like this.
Wow.
Oh, how the turntables have turned.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so now that our arms are all, worked, we're gonna loosen them up a little bit more because the clean, as much as it looks like you're yanking things from the ground with your arms, you're really not. So what I'm gonna try to do is get you guys mobilized, and then the fact that you guys' arms are tired is gonna be a good thing because it's gonna help correct your form. So we're just gonna start with some nice small shoulder circles, getting progressively larger until they're nice and big. And then we're gonna go to the other direction, starting off nice and small, getting a little bit bigger and bigger until we're doing big circles. And then we're gonna find ourselves extended at the top, and we're going to take some paint brushes and paint some circles on the ceiling. Now it's not required that you have a paintbrush grip, but I always do whenever I do these. Let's change the directions.
This is how
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna move into some scarecrows. I wish I was wearing a mask because you'll probably see me make some weird facial expressions. All right. So you guys' shoulders are probably nice and tired. That's a good thing. All right, we'll bring our elbows out and we'll do Sokol's sunglasses off to get the elbows moving. And now we want to be cool and put the sunglasses right back on. All right, then we're going to clap our hands together, get some wrist circles in. Clap with the other hand on top. That's just my secret way of getting applause. All right, we're gonna go up for a high five, but we're gonna lock our arms and just move at the wrists and our fingertips and try to massage our wrists. This is like these are called meow meows because it's what a cat does to ruin your duvet cover. And then we're gonna reverse that motion. And this is called rolling with the homies. If anyone can give me the reference, you get, there you go. She got it. Rolling with the homies. So you don't have to do a neck nod with it. I can't help but do the neck nod because of the Clueless reference. All right, now what we're gonna do is take our peace fingers and bring it to our shoulders with our other hand, and we're going to do nice little circles in this position. And as you're doing the circles, try to make them a little higher, keeping those peace fingers on the shoulder, and then switch directions, keeping it nice and high. But we want to keep our abs tight. Now, if I do my back bend that I learned in Mike's yoga class, I can circle the ceiling, but we want to keep the abs tight, and then we'll switch sides. Nice little circles.
You're doing great, kids.
And then other direction. All right. So, why did we do all of that mobilization for the wrists and the shoulders and whatnot? It's to help us find our rack position for the barbell. Now, what is the rack position when we're doing a clean? We already kind of covered just out of shoulder, the grip just beyond shoulder width. So we have that figured out. We now can use the PVC pipe and bring that close to our neck. So I'll let you guys grab that. Again, the grip I want just outside of shoulder width. Unless you have huge bodybuilder biceps, then you might even need to go wider. So we're gonna bring this as close to our throat as we can, and then we're going to relax our hands and let the PVC pipe come right onto our fingertips. You'll notice my pinky is completely off, as well as my my ring finger. And then I'm trying to get the PVC pipe to rest on my shoulders, bring my elbows up as much as I can. There you go. It's a little hard with a PVC pipe because you don't have that extra weight to pull things down onto your shoulders, but this is the rack position. When we get to the barbell, it'll probably be a little bit easier, and you'll notice I'm being annoying and making you guys hold this. That's on purpose, because I'm trying to get you guys comfortable with this rack position. And actually, let's just throw in a squat and try to keep those elbows up this whole time, keeping the weight on our shoulders. And let's throw one more in, just because I'm mean. Awesome. All right, so now I'll let you guys bring the bars down, or the pipes down. So that is the end position. I kind of just did a cooking show and showed you the final product of the nice rack position, elbows up. How do we get there? Because we're gonna start with the bar on the ground. Now it starts with a deadlift. A lot of people, when they see really heavy Olympic lifters doing a clean, they think, oh, that guy just ripped the bar right from the ground really aggressively. That's not the case. It actually starts off very slow, and if you pay really close attention, you'll notice that from here to here, they're just doing a deadlift. It's only kind of towards the end of the movement that they jump into the bar, and that's where they generate most of the power. So for our foot position, we're gonna do a conventional style deadlift. I know a lot of the people in this gym really like the sumo style. You guys all get to be like me today and do conventional style. So that involves getting the heels just kind of right under the hips. Your toes can be slightly out, however is comfortable. And then what I want you guys to do is get down as though you had some plates on the PVC pipe, and it's just kind of mid-shin. So this is what I'm gonna call position 1. This is our starting position. It's just the same as a conventional deadlift. Everyone has nice hinges, so I like what I'm seeing. Now, a typical deadlift is gonna be straight up to a lockout. Nice. That's not what we're gonna be doing for this. What we're gonna do is find a position right here, right above the knee, kind of where the quad is neediest, right here. You can pinch that on yourself to kind of see this. And
What if you can't pinch it?
you can, right there. All right, so this is good, right when the bar is right here, this is gonna be position 2. So what we're gonna do is do a nice deadlift to position 2. And then we're gonna stand up, but not all the way. We're not gonna fully extend the hips. We're gonna have a slight bend in our hip crease, and this is gonna be position 3. Now what I'm gonna have you guys do is kind of a game of follow the leader. So we're gonna go to 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. All right, stand it up. The reason I do that little game is I really want you guys to understand where position 2 is, because that is where we start generating the power. We're gonna do a nice slow deadlift, and then once we hit position 2 is when we hit the go button and we just jump into the barbell. So this is where things get a little bit weird, because the clean shares the name with kettlebell clean, but it's entirely different from what we do with a kettlebell. Because what we're gonna do once we decide to hit that go button is we're gonna extend as quickly as we can to position 3. And then from position 3, we're gonna go onto our tiptoes, which is not something we generally do here in the kettlebell class. So go ahead and get on your tiptoes. And then we're gonna bring our elbows up. This is not something we're used to doing. And we're gonna get in that nice scarecrow position. Nice. Just hold it for a sec, tippy toes, and then relax. All right, so what I'm gonna have you guys do is go from position 2 to the tiptoes as quickly as you can. Jump into that bar. And just get about 5 of those in. Keeping that bar as close to your body as you can. You're not letting the bar come out here. You're keeping it nice and close as you're jumping out onto your tiptoes. All right. So if that wasn't weird enough, the next thing we're gonna do is get into our receiving position. So when we were doing our warm-ups, we did a drop squat, right? So I'll let you guys put the PVC down. And so what we're going to do is from this position that we have, the conventional deadlift stance, we're going to get onto our tiptoes, and then we're just going to do a drop squat. Let's do 3 of those. Get back into that conventional stance, drop squat. Get back onto our toes in that conventional stance, drop squat. Again, something we would never do with kettlebells, but this is the style for barbells. So the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is add the elbows. So when we were in that rack position, our elbows were up. The thing I like to think about is my elbows have laser beams, and I'm trying to shoot those lasers. Now we can't condone violence, so set your phasers to stun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my tiptoes, drop, and shoot my lasers. Tiptoes, drop, shoot lasers.
Sound effects?
Yes, sound effects are highly encouraged. Yeah. Now we're going to return to the PVC pipe and try to string it all together. Now it's a lot to think about, so what I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a help by, we're going to take that first deadlift out of it, and we're just going to start from this hang position. This is going to be a hang power clean. Now when we drop into that squat, one of the things I noticed is, people weren't finding the very bottom of the squat. That's fine. What I want you guys to do is kind of do this nice little quarter squat, and that's our power position. That's where we're nice and loaded up. Generally, I don't think we often do full cleans in class, just because they're not as cool, at least in my opinion. So what we're going to do is, and I'll just kind of demo quickly. I'm going to start in this position 3, drop down to position 2, jump into the bar with trying to bring my elbows up, and then receive as quickly as I can. Pew, pew. So, and then once I receive, I'm just going to stand up and then reset my feet at the top. And then we'll just go ahead and drop the bar back to that position 3. So, let's get set up. Position 3. Let's go to position 2 and then jump. Stand it up, reset your feet, reset the bar down to position 3, 2, jump, receive. Stand it up, then reset, position 2, jump, nice. Stand up, reset. All right, so how are we feeling with that? It's a little hard with the PVC because you're not getting enough feedback. So if you're feeling comfortable, I recommend us moving to the barbell. This is the moment of truth. Huh? I don't want plates. I'm fine. Oh, no, you'll be
you're
fine.
doing perfect. Yeah.
So I'm going to start without plates, and yeah, for this first round, we don't really need plates. We're going to, again, I'm going to start us off with the hang power cleans. So we don't need to start, we don't need to worry about from 1 to 2. We're just going to worry about, hitting that 2 spot, jumping into the bar, receiving with that drop squat, and then standing up right back up. And you're not done until you have reset completely in that rack position. Everyone clear? So we're gonna hit that 2 and then jump into the bar, scarecrow, shoot our lasers. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. Stand it up, reset your feet, and then we'll go back to 3. Let's go to 2. Jump. Reset our feet. And then we'll reset the bar down. Let's do one more. Down to 2. Jump. Stand it up. Reset our feet. Very nice. How'd that feel?
Better.
Better?
Question about the grin.
Yes.
So, I mean, full grip here, right?
Yes.
We have like the two of
So, that is a great question. When we are doing anything other than the rack position, you want to be fully gripped. Also, I like to, if my grip is feeling tired, I like to do a hook grip. We don't really cover that too much in class, but this
Here,
would be
I got it.
this is a traditional grip. Oh, there you go. That works too. Yeah, this is traditional. And then hook grip is where you take your thumb and you wrap your fingers around your thumb. You'll find that you get a lot more grip strength from that. The issue is that for a lot of people who haven't built up a tolerance to it, it really hurts your thumb. I have a lot of experience with deadlifts with a hook grip, so my thumb doesn't really feel anything in this position. So I use it quite often. But then as I come up, I'm trying to relax my hands as quickly as possible because the weight really needs to be on my shoulder. If I'm gripping like this, it just feels uncomfortable on the forearms here. And you'll notice I can even take my hands off and maintain a good solid position throughout, just because if I get my shoulders up, my hands aren't even really doing any work, and that's what we want. We want our hands relaxed. That's why we loosen them up. So let's do 4 more. If you want to add plates to get even more feedback, feel free to do that. Again, I'm going to have you guys skip the deadlift. Well, obviously are going to deadlift it up, but you don't need to start the clean from the floor. Feel free to deadlift it up all the way, drop to position 2. I'm going to skip putting plates on mine. All right, so just give me 3 or 4 hang power cleans at your own pace. I will, there you go, nice Casey. Remember to do that nice drop squat. You'll notice it helps pull you under the bar. Nice. Stand it all the way up. There you go, reset your feet. Bring the bar back down to position 3. Perfect. And then when we're doing this hang, we're not letting the bar come below our knees. We're just trying to hit right above the kneecap and then just go. Nice. Huh? There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah.
Remember when you're catching it, catch it. Don't catch it and then go into your squat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're not catching it and then, now I do a squat.
So do you want to absorb it, like as bars going down, or just land ready?
The way I like to think about it is I'm trying to pull my body under the bar, and so it's just whatever amount that I need to do in order to get myself under the bar in that rack position. Because the thing is, if I'm doing a lot of weight, I will need to pull myself really low because I'm not, the reason we, did so much work on our arms is it's not, as much as we're doing the Scarecrow, you can't pull your own body weight from, this position. So you're only going to be able to get the bar to here, and then you have to drop your body the rest of the way by pulling yourself under. So the way I think about a clean is there's 3 pulls. There's the slow deadlift. I hit this trigger button and go, go, go. That's my second pull. And then the third pull is I'm pulling myself under the bar into that rack position. So yeah, it kind of just matters, how much weight you're doing in terms of how deep you need to drop.
So you don't drop that deep, it's not like you're cutting off.
No. And in fact, you could even do a muscle clean, which is you don't even drop at all. You get enough height on the bar that you can just shoot your elbows under. That requires a pretty light weight, and a lot of energy getting produced in that extension and jump. I personally love the power clean just because I can get enough space. If I'm doing enough weight where I have to do a full clean, which is hitting the bottom of that squat, it's a little too much weight typically. So.
Patrick and I say the same thing. We say we pull ourselves under the bar, but another cue would be jumping underneath the bar, if that kind of resonates a little bit more with you. Yeah.
I have clarification. So the two, it's the power's from your hips though, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then you do actually want your feet to come up and you come underneath.
Huh?
Your feet to lift
So
when
like-
you jump underneath. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
so-
that's a cue for not getting backwards.
Huh?
A cue for not falling backwards.
Well, you want, so a thing that we see a lot is people trying to catch with the kind of an arched back. Like they're pulling the weight here and trying to get under it here. I like to think that, it's the same cue we use for swings. This distance shouldn't change between our ribs and our hips. So, we're keeping a nice tight core as we're coming up. And so I'm not letting myself go back at all. So if I'm going to have to bail, which, that happens, I'm going to bail forwards typically. But yeah, I think about it as I kind of want to catch it in kind of a semi-squat position. And then that way, when I come and do an actual front squat, that's the same feeling I want to feel as I'm catching the clean. Which is a fun little segue into a nice little
I was like,
complex.
wow, how did that work out so perfectly?
All right.
Yeah.
So
Any other questions?
yeah. How
Or we just move along? Okay, great.
And one thing I need to cover is when we're in this rack position, I don't really want to press from here, especially since I don't have my fingers really on the bar. What you're going to do is you're going to have to kind of reset your elbows down, and you'll notice as it comes down, the bar rolls right into my grip, and I'm in the typical press position that we would be in if we were at the rack. Fun. So then I can press from there. And then when I reset to the rack position, I'll go, so I did my press, and then I'll reset my rack, and again, the elbows come up, the hands relax, and now I can do, say, a front squat. So, kind of the press is gonna be the limiting factor for most people in this complex that I built. It's kind of my take on the bear complex, which is something we'll often see, but it has a lot more cleans. So I call it the brown bear car wash complex because it's extra cleans. Yeah. Not all my jokes are great, but
No, that one landed.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a victory for me. So what we're gonna do for our brown bear complex is we're gonna do one clean. So we're gonna start from the ground, do that deadlift, feel that button that says go, and then we're gonna jump into the bar, do a nice clean. We're gonna stand it up, and then we're gonna do 2 front squats. Yes, that's what I have written down. 2 front squats. Again, that rack position shouldn't change through the front squats. You want to think about keeping your elbows up and your abs tight. So I'm not arching my back. I'm staying nice and neutral through my 2 front squats. Then I'm going to do 2 hang cleans. And then from there, I'm going to reset my elbows down and come into the pressing rack position, do 2 presses, and then 2 more hang cleans, and then I'll set the bar down. So,
This escalated quickly.
yes, it did. I will admit that. So, because of that, and because we're working the press now, I would say choose your weight accordingly. Maybe weight down a little bit if your press is not feeling solid. Or you can just go ahead and try this.
Or omit it. Or omit it if the press isn't a good option for you.
And then,
Omit it. Like, don't do it if the press isn't a
Yeah.
great option for you. That's fine. Right?
And-
You're here to work on the clean, so
Yeah,
you
and-
can omit it.
and so if you don't feel the press, just do 2 more front squats. And that would get you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yes, you could absolutely substitute push press. kind of anything that you feel like would work for you today. Just another public service announcement. If your bar is unloaded, don't drop it. Dropping is cool when you have plates, but generally the bearings in barbells, they get worn out if you drop it unloaded. I just got in,
Is that from Molly?
No, that's
Molly want you to say
that's.
that?
I was at a gym that did a lot of Olympic lifting, and you had to do 60 burpees if you dropped an unloaded bar. So it's ingrained in my brain. Anytime I see someone drop a bar, I like jump just because. Like you can drop a bar overhead with it loaded with plates, and it won't faze me at all. But if you drop it even from like here, anyway. Public service announcement. I just had to put that out there. So yeah, any questions, comments? Yes.
What's the difference?
Okay, so the hand clean is starting here, hitting here, and then going.
So not dropping. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then a regular power clean. If we don't say hang, and I should have gone through the whole terms. So hang is starting here, hitting here, and then dropping under it to a power position. So this would technically be a hang power clean. A power clean is starting from the floor. A full clean is starting from the floor and hitting the bottom of a squat. I think those are the main ones that we cover in class.
Yeah.
But that's a great question.
Yeah.
So,
Practice time?
practice time.
Practice time?
Practice time.
Practice time.
So
Hey.
we'll give you a few minutes to do a couple rounds of this on your own time. There you go.
So Patrick, is it slow up, down, up, or is it just the one?
So for the first one, it's slow, 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 fast.
Okay, so I don't go up
Yeah,
and then back. It's just one time.
yes. So it's just one clean from the ground, and then we're moving straight into the front squats. And so, yeah, when the initial pull is slow, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, that looks great. Nice.
Things and presses.
Yep.
Yep.
There were weights on the bar.
Yeah, there's weights. He can drop it from the ceiling for all I care.
Special rule. He gets 60 burpees.
There's no special rules.
So one thing to think about is if you're doing that hang clean, you don't need to keep dropping more than necessary. So as soon as you kind of get that rack position, you can go ahead and stop. I saw a couple people get that rack and then just keep going down, slow and controlled. That's great for a full clean. You don't need to do it for today because we're just kind of hitting that power position. Generally, to get a nice rack position, that's all you need. Again, we don't really do many full cleans here. We're just trying, because we haven't been using these racks as much, developing the clean in order to get it so we can do the presses and front squats. So, if that felt okay, maybe another round. Any takers? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
It's me. Oh God.
I got her. Thank you, buddy. I probably need it anyway.
I like to hear stomping when you guys are in the cleans. Unless you're barefoot, then you have to stop.
Nice, John.
Yeah. I mean, if you get there. Huh? Yeah, to get to that thruster position, you need to start with cleans.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it in between every thruster, like once you get it into that rack position. But always, that's the thing about why we kind of wanted to focus on cleans today, is because anytime we're doing barbell work that's, you know, in that rack position, whether it be presses, front squats, you need to have a good clean to start that. It's very similar to a kettlebell in that regard. Like if you want to do presses, you need to start with at least one good clean to get in that nice front rack. Obviously, the way we get there and also the front rack itself are very different from what we use with kettlebells, but the kind of purpose is the same.
Yeah.
Is that we need a good technique for getting to that rack position, especially when we're not able to use the rig. So, great question. Well, how are we doing on time today?
We went an hour 10, that's what I set it for.
Okay. So that's an hour 11.
Yeah, well, look at you two.
All right. Yeah. So.
I know they're two complicated movements, so doing 2 in an hour 10